Live from Edward T. Berry Ice Rink on the campus of UMass Boston for some women's New England Hockey Conference action featuring the Johnson & Wales Wildcats and the UMass Boston Beacons. Andrew Bluestein alongside my broadcast partner, Matt Meisenbacher. We thank you for joining us on the Beacons Broadcast Network. Well, Meisey, senior day here today, 3 seniors. These two teams played each other last night in Attleboro. Beacons coming out with a 3-0 win. And you'd like to see them finish this back-to-back with a sweep here on Senior Day.
Yeah, coming off a shutout performance, the freshman Bosch took care of business last night, a 3-0 win, and now Senior Day, Victoria Kennedy's going to be in net. And a nice moment you see on your screen, the parents lining up on the bench, an opportunity for them to acknowledge their daughters and the careers that they've had. There'll be, as you mentioned, 3 seniors here today that'll each get acknowledged, and a nice little ceremony for each one.
Yeah, 3 seniors graduating are Addie Buddington, Emily Franciscowicz, and Kaylee Kozik. So we'll have that ceremony for you momentarily. But first, let's take a look at the season stats between these two teams. As you look at the goals per game, Beacon sitting at an even 2 to the Wildcats 1.55. Goals against, Beacon sitting at an even 3 to the Wildcats 3.45. Power play at 8.6%. The Beacons, that has been a struggle for them all season long. Wildcats not much better, only 1 percentage point higher, just about, or even less than that at 9%. And the penalty kill at 87% for the Beacons, 81% for the Wildcats. 25 shots per game for the Beacons, 22 for the Wildcats. And penalty minutes per game, 9.40 for the Beacons and 9.15 for the Wildcats. Looking at this, Maizu, pretty even amongst these two teams, so we should be in for a good matchup here this afternoon.
Yeah, I agree, and I'll look at the Beacons goalies once again. You look at them statistically very close in what they're putting up. Both goaltenders, a 9.14 and a 9.18 save percentage, and just around Victoria Kennedy a little higher at a 2.96, Bosch at a 2.69 goals against. So both goaltenders doing well here today, and I think against a Johnson & Wales team that only gets about a goal or 2 per game on average, that should set up nicely for the Beacons.
Yeah, Leah Bosch, the freshman, has really come on strong in the second half of the season. She's had some good performances, as has Victoria Kennedy, the junior. Both of them we expect to be a good 1-2 punch again next season. Let's take a look at our matchup to watch here this afternoon. And first for Johnson & Wales, Kaylin Garner coming in with 6 goals, 2 assists for 8 points at -16. She is a known goal scorer for the Wildcats. For the Beacons, Kaylee Kozik, the senior, as she'll be honored here momentarily. 4 goals, 7 assists, 11 points, sitting at -5. And we've seen her on display this season with some good offensive performances. She's missed some time as well, but able to get healthy by the end of the season here.
Yeah, and I think she's a player that they're going to need to get going here, the final stretch going into conference play. We're obviously acknowledging her as a senior, but if you look at her point totals for her career, 11, 17, 14, and 12. So somebody that can really put the puck in the net and find others and help set up plays offensively. They need her, especially here today and then going into conference play.
All right, let's take a look at the sneak peek for the Beacons weekend games here. Women's basketball against Plymouth State. They're leading 45-27 at the end of the third. We had a little bit of a mishap over in the gym there, apparently a pipe burst. So we had about a 15-minute delay, but they were able to get that back up and going. Men's basketball is versus Plymouth State, 3 p.m. And then women's ice hockey, obviously, here today. Johnson & Wales, that's a 3 p.m. puck drop coming up momentarily. And then the men's will be at Johnson & Wales for a 4 p.m. puck drop. They won last night here with a 5-1 victory over the Wildcats. Now let's take a look around the New England Hockey Conference schedule today. We have New England College at Southern Maine. That's a 3 p.m. puck drop. Plymouth State will be at Elmira for a 3 p.m. puck drop. Norwich at Salem State for a 3 p.m. puck drop. And Castleton will be at William Smith for a 4 p.m. puck drop. So that's what's going on around the New England Hockey Conference here today. Well, we're waiting for both teams to take the ice, so we're going to step aside for a quick break, and we'll be back to take a look at our senior day ceremonies here, honoring our 3 seniors, and we'll be back with the starting goaltenders right after this here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
The 5-campus UMass system is the university that educates the workforce of Massachusetts. We recognize that we are truly here for a reason, and that recognition inspires us and drives us every single day.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris. The subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown. And it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's one of those moments you never forget.
The University of Massachusetts Boston. It's just minutes from downtown, and the Princeton Review calls it one of the best values in the country. A nationally recognized institution of academic excellence and research, UMass Boston offers more than 150 undergraduate and graduate programs, 16 Division III sports, and more than 100 student organizations. To learn more about the opportunities waiting for you at UMass Boston, visit in person or online. UMass Boston, a research university with a teaching soul.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well, but it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not
welcome back here inside Edward T. Berry Ice Rink. Andrew Bluestein and Matt Meisenbach are here with you as both teams just about ready to take the ice, as we're going to honor our 3 seniors on the Beacons, as it'll be Addie Buddington, Emily Franciscowicz, and Kaylee Kozik. As you see on the bench there, parents in attendance with the flowers. And it's always a special moment no matter what sport, Mizey, the senior day festivities, as you go through it in high school and then again if you play collegiate athletics.
Yeah, I think this one is particularly important, right, because I think for most of these players this will probably be it. And you dedicate, particularly from a parent's perspective, you dedicate so much time, all those morning practices and driving all over the state for your games, just the amount of effort that goes into it to allow these girls the opportunity to play collegiately. And then from the player's perspective, you know, this is an opportunity to really recognize your accomplishments. To play collegiately at any level is special. And I think especially to have your parents here and to have this photo opportunity, it means a lot.
Yeah, you mentioned it's kind of a tough realization that this is really the end of the road of your competitive career, so to speak. You know, I never went through that in terms of playing collegiately like you did, but just give a little insight going into the mind. What is it like? What's the feeling like knowing that your career is essentially over? It's
a weird spot, right? Because you have a game to play today, and you still have hopefully a few more games to play thereafter, right? Next week and then in conference play. So that part you've got to compartmentalize. You want to recognize the moment right now, but you still have to find a way to play, and especially for Casey Kozik, who's going to start us off here.
Kozik played 94 career games for the Beacons, 23 goals, 31 assists. The class leading 54 points, and had a hat trick against Salem State. And she is out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, as you see her over by the Beacons bench with her family being honored. As we'll wait for the next senior. Addie Buddington now heading over the bench. Buddington, defenseman, playing 69 career games. And she had 19 assists, 1 goal. We've seen her play some solid minutes on the back end.
Logs a lot of minutes. Her and Kozik, both of them, have really played, since they were freshmen, have really logged a lot of minutes for this Beacons team, and a special moment for her and her mother.
Buddington, also a shot-blocking machine, had 5 blocked shots again on January 6th against Castleton. And our final senior is Emily Franciscowicz. You see her skating over, 2-year member of the Beacons program, as she has a career 47 games played, pair of goals and 4 assists. Her first career goal coming in a victory over Salem State. She is out of Oak Park, Illinois. Should also mention that Addie Buddington is from Watauga, Illinois, so a senior from Pittsburgh and 2 from Illinois.
Good moment here for this group. Smaller senior class, and hopefully a chance here today to get a W and go out and celebrate after.
Absolutely, as the Beacons will look to sweep a back-to-back. They won last night. We mentioned 3-0 over this Johnson & Wales team. As you see a photo being taken with all the family members. And I mentioned all three players out of state. And I know you're a New Jersey guy, not too far, but how difficult is it to kind of pack up and leave and go play hockey that far away?
Yeah, it's difficult. For me, it was kind of, from the men's side, most players are doing it from the point they turn 18, with junior hockey, and you're somewhat used to it at that point. But I think for these girls, that's a big step. And being out of state, especially Illinois, Pittsburgh, right around, that's got to be, a couple-hour flight. Illinois is probably the same deal. So, it's difficult. For some of these players, this might be the first time, I'm not sure personally, but it might be the first time that the Krantz have actually been out here to see them play, depending on the situation. So kind of cool to have this moment, and something I'm sure these players will remember for a long time.
Senior day, always special, but we'll step aside for a quick break. We'll be back right after the national anthem to go over the starting goaltenders and face-off here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
Only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that, and it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, I can accomplish it.
It's a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school, it's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
I'm the first undergraduate alumnus to lead this university. I'm very proud of that. I was literally able to transform my life because of the University of Massachusetts, and I want that for every single student that walks through the door.
Moving from Turkey, it was a rough journey for me because when you don't really speak the language that well, and when you don't really fit in the crowd, it's very easy to disappear. But I decided not to give up, and UMass helped me.
Cheer for the stumbles. That he should have had that. And the tears that linger. For in those moments.
And welcome back inside Edward T. Berry Ice Rink on the campus of UMass Boston as we're just about to get set for action. And let's take a look at this afternoon's starting goaltenders. First, for the visiting Johnson & Wales Wildcats, it'll be Sophia Tomeo out of Orland Park, Illinois comes in with a 1-4-1 record, a 4.04 goals against average, and a .876 save percentage. For the Beacons, it'll be Victoria Kennedy, the junior from right down the street, Winthrop, Massachusetts. She comes in with a 4-6-0 record, a 2.96 goals against average, and a .914 save percentage. Well, Mizey, we mentioned it off the top of the broadcast. The stats for both these teams looking fairly even, so we're expecting an even game here. They played each other last night, obviously the Beacons with the 3-0 win, but what are you expecting here this afternoon?
A quick start. I think the Beacons, especially on senior night, they're starting all three seniors. I think you got to have a quick start here. This is going to be a Johnson & Wales team that's seeking a little bit of revenge, getting shut out at home yesterday, so I need the Beacons starting hot here and getting Kennedy nice, easy first period. I think the worst thing that can happen to them is they lose a quick one, lose some of this momentum you've got naturally being at senior day.
Anna McDougall and Skylar Robert on the faceoff. You mentioned all three seniors on the ice to start for the Beacons, and they control the opening draw. McDougall will chip it ahead into the Wildcat zone. Harmony Chakous back to get it. She'll wheel it to the far side for her partner there, Reese Middendorf. Goes behind the net. Getting there first is Maddie Fox. Played up against the boards. Kaylee Kozik had it for a moment there, but lost it, and it's chipped back out to center. And this will go all the way down on the frictionless ice for an icing, so the Beacons will have an early offensive zone faceoff. So we'll do it to the right of Sophia Tomeo. Third line out there for the Beacons. Wilbert with Crepaldi and Henningsen Brown on the wings. Wilbert able to win the draw. Henningsen Brown takes it towards the corner. Now behind the net. Comes to the near side. She gets canceled out by Chakous. Tied up against the boards. And swooping in there was Robert. Now comes back to the near side. Emma Webster pinching in. Throws it towards the corner. Miscommunication there by the Wildcats. Swooping in is Henningsen Brown. Overskates it. And it's whacked away by Crepaldi. As Wilbert had a chance there to collect, but it trampolines off her stick, and it's back to center. Heavy collision there by Webster as she bumped into Kylie O'Keefe in the neutral zone.
Pretty good body check.
We've seen that a lot this year in these women's games. Technically, there's not checking allowed,
right,
but the officials do let them play a little bit.
Yeah, incidental.
As Henningsen Brown now looking to carry it in, has Crepaldi in the middle. Henningsen Brown crosses with her, throws it towards goal, and a glove save by Tomeo, perhaps going wide though.
Yeah, I think she was trying to go far side there, Henningsen Brown, and didn't really have that lane. I think because the fact that Crepaldi was going back door, didn't really have an opportunity to shoot that side, so went glove side there. And I agree with you. I don't know if she hit the net.
That one goes to the far side, trying to move it ahead there. It was Casey Rockwood, or Cassidy Rockwood rather, now behind the net with Kaylin Garner. Allie Raefler, though, steps in front of that. She gets canceled out, but swooping in is Liz Cramp. Tries to center it for Raefler, and it was knocked away by Rockwood and sent back to center. Margot Butters now with it. Goes cross ice for Allie Raefler. She'll bank it off the boards and in. Back to get it is Reef Middendorf. And she'll reverse it to the near side for Logan Arsenault. That one thrown towards goal by Giuliano, as that one now chipped back behind the net. Now to the far side. Kozik doing a good job on the forecheck, disrupting that clear attempt. Now Giuliano will chip it off the boards. Back into the near corner. Now Gustafson with it. Tried to center it in front, but it goes off of Paige Hano's skates. Beacons look to stay with it. It's whacked back to center, as it'll go all the way back down the ice, no icing. Melina Raggio to collect, moves it up for Kozik. Kozik will turn back and give it back to Maggio. She'll reverse it, the far side for Giuliano. He'll play it up the boards for Gustafson. Now Hansen moves it ahead. Perhaps a 2-on-1. Kozik with it, shoots it, and a save, still loose on the rebound, and it pops out for Hano, and she's able to maneuver it back into the neutral zone.
Nice shot and a good save there. Kozik just letting it fly. And there's a little bit of a rebound, but the puck was bouncing. She wasn't able to corral it.
Pia Boyd now doing it herself. The defenseman will take it behind the net. Centers it. Nobody there, though. Goes out to Webster up top. Webster will stay with it. Backhands it down low for Francisco. It's a deflection in front by Briggs, and it goes off of the pad of Tomeo. He can stay with it. Nice move by Briggs towards the middle. Takes a spill, and controlling it is O'Keefe. Moved back to center. Mia Boyd will send it in. It goes right onto the stick of Chakous. Now Maddie Berry will try to move it, or rather Allison Berry will try to move it ahead, and she'll opt to go back behind her own net. McDougall on the forecheck. Now up in the near side for O'Keefe. Tries to get it through the middle. Crepaldi knocks it down. Now Franciscowicz whacks it back for Boyd, and she'll head off for a change, as do the rest of the Beacons. Mia Boyd in her own end will bank it off the end boards. Margot Butters now with it on the far side. Moving it ahead for Henningsen Brown. Can't find it in her skates. And getting that was Logan Arsenault momentarily. Now knocked in by Haley Owen. Henningsen Brown behind her own net. Takes it now on the far wing. Will chip it ahead back to center, but goes right to Cassidy Rockwood. A big collision between Henningsen Brown and the linesman right in front of the scorer's box. Wilbert now with it, tries to carry it in. She'll take it behind the net. Has Crepaldi. And she'll opt to go to the point for Butters. Butters steps into one, hits a body in front, still loose. Wilbert throwing it towards goal, and we have a penalty coming here, I believe, against Johnson and Wales. So the Beacons with an early power play with 15:25 to go here in this opening period.
Yeah, Chakous is going to go on a cross-check, I believe. Cramp in front. It was a shot from Butters coming through, and I think she was trying to create some space for a goaltender to see it, and just took a little bit too much of a hit there on Cramp. So the Beacons will have a power play here. 15:25 left in the first.
Now we saw a bit of that in the men's game last night. A lot of cross-checks in front of the net. As you said, Mizey, you're not going to get away with that with the official standing right there. The Beacons control as Addie Buddington will move it over for Kozik, who's playing the point. Now tries to find Reifler in the corner, but it's trumped off the play by Middendorf. That one's sent to the far side, back to center. Controlling it is Paige Hainaut. She'll slowly take it through center and just flip it in. That one goes around the kick blade as Buddington will chase it down, and she'll try to move it ahead for Liz Cramp. But once again, Paige Hainaut there doing a good job. That one back on the fence move for Cassidy Rockwood. Cross ice for Middendorf. That one sent in on Kennedy, and she's forced to take a whistle with Paige Hainaut right in her kitchen. So a good, strong penalty-killing shift for the Wildcats.
Yeah, that's about as good as it gets, and now especially an in-zone draw. So you're going to kill even more time. I mean, we're already about just under 30 seconds through this power play, and really not much to show for it for the Beacons. They got to control themselves here and gain possession, get back in the offensive zone.
1:20 to go now on the power play. The Beacons control. As we talked at the top of the broadcast, both these teams struggling mightily on the power play this season. The Beacons with just 7 power play goals. Johnson and Wales with 6. The Beacons look to set up shop here. That one off Wilbert's legs. Now Mia Boyd with it. Over to Margot Butters, who throws it towards goal. Knocked down by Hansen and sent just wide on the backhand. Now centering pass by Henningsen Brown goes under the stick of Hansen all the way down, and Victoria Kennedy far out of her goal to play it. Margot Butters through the center of the ice looking for Hansen. Stepping in front of that is Barry, but nice play by Butters to whack it back to Hansen. Hansen trying to carry it but loses it. Henningsen Brown tries to pursue it, but Hainaut able to move it to the far side for Maddie Fox, who will send it all the way down the ice. Both teams will change. Mia Boyd looking up ice, hits Reifler. Tries to chip it ahead, but that got knocked down. But Beacons looking for a chance in front. Reifler on the doorstep, still loose. Whacking at it was Henningsen Brown, or rather McDougall, who came in late and couldn't put it home as 15 seconds to go on the Beacons power play.
Well, that was the best opportunity there, but a good save by Tomeo. That puck was right on her doorstep. She was able to shove it into the corner. Crisis averted.
Final seconds ticking off of the Beacons power play. Reifler will center it. Oh, Liz Cramp had wide open net, but the puck deflected at the last second as we're back to 5-a-side hockey. That puck tied up in the near corner as moving it ahead is Middendorf. That puck explodes off the stick of Gina Truppi, and sending it in is Paige Hainaut. Getting there first, though, is Claire Giuliano, and she'll go to Emma Webster. Webster, nice move, trying to get out of her own end. Was looking for Crepaldi, but that pass gets disrupted by Rockwood and goes all the way behind the Wildcats' net. That one chipped off Wilbert's stick and out of play with 12:45 to go, opening period.
Pretty good power play there for the Beacons. The one thing I think might be able to do a little bit better is when the puck gets to the front of the net, you got to be hard. You know, you got to make sure that when that puck, you work so hard to get it there, you're doing something with it. We saw it a little bit there on that rush, that one rush, but there were a couple of times, especially late in the power play there, Cramp was wide open. You know, that's got to be those plays have got to be more consistent for this team if they want to be successful on the power play.
Emma Webster along the blue line will backhand it to the far side. Henningsen Brown gets there. Henningsen Brown banks it for Crepaldi. Crepaldi now with it. Stops, turns back, now walks back towards the point. Crepaldi moving it down low now for Henningsen Brown. Wilbert behind the net. She'll bank it off the far boards for Mia Boyd. Boyd off the kick plate for Henningsen Brown. Henningsen Brown looking for Crepaldi in front. She got a stick on it, but it goes wide. Pinching in is Emma Webster. Able to keep it alive. Webster tries to wheel it towards the hash marks, and it was knocked away by Skylar Robert, who's able to get it back to center. Skylar Robert now finds the loose puck as both teams making a partial change. Robert waiting for reinforcements, but that's whacked by Emily Hansen back to center. But quickly moved back the other way by Logan Arsenault. Arsenault moves it towards the middle for Owen. Back to Arsenault, sticked aside by Kennedy. And a penalty coming here. Another one on Johnson and Wales. And I believe Arsenault will head off for a trip.
Yeah, again, right in front of the referee. Pretty simple. Anytime that stick gets in the skates like that, especially in front, that's going to get called, and Beacons will head right back to the power play.
Beacons weren't able to capitalize on their first opportunity, but will get their second power play in this first half of the first period. So Kozik with Greifler, Cramp, Buddington, and Butters at the point. Butters in the middle for Cramp, deflected. That one sticked away by Tomeo. Raefler being draped on the far side, able to backhand it down low as Maddie Fox didn't know where the puck was. Tries to send it up the far side boards. Liz Cramp gets in the way of that. She gets tied up. As try to moving it to Raefler. Raefler able to win the puck. Raefler takes a spill but stays with it. Now Kozik up top for Butters. Butters throwing it towards goal. That one goes wide. Truby couldn't stay with it. Now it's tied up in the corner. Able to get it back, and she'll send it the length of the rink. And the Wildcats will get a full change.
The Wildcats have spent a lot of time defending in this period, but I think they're doing a pretty solid job. The Beacons, really, most of their stuff is coming from the perimeter. They're having some success in front of the net, but not enough to be able to convert on it.
You said it, Mizey. Good job by Johnson Wales keeping most things to the perimeters thus far, as that one sent in. Under a minute now to go on the Beacons power play. Emily Hansen in the far corner, able to win that battle. Moves it for Butters at the point. Back for Hansen, and a good shooting area, and just misses on the blocker side. Puck comes back up top for Boyd. She'll move it for Wilbert. Quickly over to Butters. Tees one up, but fans on it. And that one will be whacked back to center by Sarah Cruz. Mia Boyd to control. 30 seconds now to go on the Beacons' second power play. Wilbert tries to backhand it ahead, and that goes off Rockwood. McDougall, though, off the bench. Able to bring it in. McDougall on the near side will pull up. She'll switch with Wilbert. McDougall stays with it. Wheels it towards the front of the net. Sticked away by Tomeo. Another chance by Wilbert. Still loose in front. Whacking at it. And it's still loose, and finally a whistle. Oh, and a big shot after the whistle in front. Wilbert took a punch to the head there from Cassidy Rockwood, and I believe the Beacons will have a brief 5-on-3 here for 8 seconds.
Yeah, and you know what? I was good with everything up until that last shot. I thought the Beacons there was no whistle, right? And you're taught from a very young age, you play until you hear the whistle. So although your goaltender's getting whacked, those Beacons have every right to try and jam away at that puck until that whistle blows. And you saw that one extra shot after the whistle. And you mentioned it, Beacons now with a 5-on-3. So golden opportunity here, especially if they can win the draw.
It'll be for 8 seconds, but they have the face-off. Kozik out there again. Kozik chips the draw into the corner. There's Raefler. Now Liz Cramp with it in the corner. Up top for Butters. That'll do it for the 5-on-3. Buddington looks to move it in front. Perhaps a pass for Raefler, and it just misses. He can still control it. Liz Cramp moving it for Buddington on the near point. Her shot goes just wide. Another tip just missed by Raefler going to the net. Now Butters with it up top. Looks to the middle. Her shot gloved and held by Tomeo. But the Beacons, with a couple of good looks there, just couldn't finish.
Yeah, I like what they're doing on this power play. They're throwing a lot of different looks at Johnson and Wales right now, using the D to their advantage. Butters is somewhat covered, but as soon as they move that puck elsewhere, she releases, and they've been finding her a couple times. I like when they get her involved in the power play. You saw Buddington with an opportunity. She passed one through the slot. So A lot of looks for this Beacons team, just can't convert.
Beacons control again, and they just got away with too many men on the ice. They had 6 skaters out there, and one going off after the whistle. The officials missed it, so the Beacons catch a break. McDougal moving it for Butters up top. Butters a shot. That one hits a body in front, still loose. Whack back to the near side, and Kaylin Garner with a nice move there, takes a tumble, and Emily Hansen able to swoop in. Hansen takes it to the front of the net. A chance, and it's whacked away, and then sent her back down the ice on the second opportunity by Garner.
Yeah, you said it. Another good opportunity for the Beacons. They've had a few scoring chances in this period, but still a 0 on the board, and your only hope is they don't get frustrated. They're doing the right things here. They will get one. Just can't try to do too much. Keep doing what you're doing right now.
Mosick took it towards the middle, had Raeffler, but the puck bounces off her stick. There's Giuliano now off the bench. We'll move it ahead for Kozik. 30 seconds now to go on the Beacons' third power play. As that one now whacked back to center. Off the stick of Maddie Fox. Giuliano, D-to-D for Boyd. Back to Giuliano. Now Liz Cramp on the far side. Looking for Kozik in the middle, but it bounces off her skate. Johnson and Wales will control. That one sent down the ice by Barry in the final 10 seconds of the Beacons' power play. Boyd hits Liz Cramp on the far side. As that will end the Beacons' third power play, so 0 for 3. Had a few good looks, but once again, not able to cash in as Johnson and Wales now controls. That shot thrown towards the goal by Robert, looking for a tip as Franciskowicz will move it behind the net. Now Maggio with it. Now tied up in the near side. Robert battling with Kristen Briggs. It's still tied up. It's 2-on-1. Now Maggio comes in for support as McDougal tries to wheel it ahead, but it's whacked back into the corner. Maggio, though, able to get it, and she'll backhand it off the far boards. Not out, though, as it's whacked back in by Maddie Fox. But Johnson and Wales will make a change. Giuliano looks to move it through the neutral zone. Hits Briggs in her skates, but she's able to find it as McDougal tried to move it back to her on the wing, but her stick got lifted there by Garner. Now looking to move it ahead is Harmony Chakous. As that one back to center off the glass, Buddington with it. Goes D-to-D for Margot Butters. Butters tries to backhand it for Hansen. Hansen couldn't find it as that one shipped back to the neutral zone by Garner. Buddington tries to send it in, but it goes right on the stick of Reese Middendorf. Margot Butters now whacks that one just out of the reach of Kozik. Goes into the Johnson and Wales zone, but whacked back to center. Butters, though, will bring it in, but Gustafson was still in the zone, so an offside in the faceoff in the neutral zone. 6:21 to go, opening period, no score.
Got to be real careful what you do if you're a Beacon right now. So you know Johnson Wales got called on 3 penalties. Referees are going to be looking very closely on the Beacons right now just to try to get Johnson and Wales one, even things up. So you got to be very careful with what you're doing with your stick. Particularly, the referees are got their eyes wide open on you right now.
That one moved to the far side. Trying to move it ahead was Rockwood. Now Toe with it, tries to play it. Nice play by Butters, laying out, then whacks it into the near corner. Swooping in, though, is Zoe Toe. Now Barry will throw it towards goal. Butters battling with it with Paige Hano as Emma Webster now comes in to help him. Or rather, that's Buddington. Now she whacks it behind the net as Katie Wilbert will get there. Moves it ahead for Henningsen Brown, who chips it out to center. Henningsen Brown able to stay with it. Gets bumped into the boards, but Wilbert able to find it. Wilbert cuts to the middle, gets knocked down. Crepaldi tries to muscle it towards the front of the net, but it goes off a body. Henningsen Brown now tries to whack it, but goes past Webster back to center. Crepaldi will backhand it for Mia Boyd back in her own zone. Boyd takes it off the boards, but kept in and thrown on goal on the chance there by Barry, and Kennedy forced to take a whistle.
Her first save of the day. You know, it's interesting, that play was offside. And this is a little unfortunate for the Beacons, right? Because the hand of the linesman should have gone up, which would have allowed Kennedy to play that puck and not have to take an end zone draw, but it never happened, so she was forced to keep it. Just one of those little nuances of the game.
Yeah, absolutely, Mizey. That puck certainly looked like it got back to the neutral zone. Is that one thrown towards goal, blockered away by Kennedy. Now tied up in the corner. Giuliano swooping in is O'Keefe. She'll backhand it up top for Fox. Fox moving it over for her partner Chakous. That one throw towards goal and covered by Kennedy. 4:59 to go, opening period.
And that's on the coaching staff. So now again, this is all off of a play that should have never happened. Now you got a second in zone draw. Johnson and Wales is possessing in your offensive zone here. They got to be more alert.
Maggio plays it around the boards, but kept in by Fox, and she'll send it right back. Goes all the way around the kick blade, the far side. Whacked by Chakous back in. Robert pumping Giuliano off the play, but Allie Raefler able to find it. Raefler in the middle. That puck off the stick of Liz Cramp and sent back the other way by Chakous. As both teams changing. Claire Giuliano with it. We'll move it ahead for Kozik. Kozik tried to send it in, but it was knocked down by Garner. Still battling for it. Kozik able to come out with it. Has Hansen in front. Takes it behind the net. Kozik up top for Buddington. Back to Kozik. Puck bounces off her skate and then muscled out back to center by Owen, or not. Kept in by Buddington. Nice job there by the defenseman. The senior here on senior night. As now Kozik will move that into the near corner. Taking a whack at it there was Barry as it goes back to center. Buddington now with it. Moves it for Kozik. Goes under her stick off the boards, and Arsenault will dump it in cross corner, and another change for Johnson and Wales. Cross ice pass for Kozik. Beacons will peel off for a change, so Kozik dumps it in. And Gustafson on the forecheck, but it's moved to the near side. As Allison Barry will move it through the neutral zone. Emma Webster back to retrieve it, but Barry able to outmuscle her. Barry behind the net. Out of the outside. Tries to get it for Chakous, who throws it towards goal, and it's sticked away by Kennedy. Now on the near side, a delayed penalty coming up against UMass as that one thrown towards goal and held by Kennedy, as getting tripped up there was Gianna Truppi. So you mentioned it, Mizey, the officials looking for that. The Beacons will go shorthanded for the first time.
You knew it was coming. Sooner versus later. At any type of, particularly, it seems to always be a stick infraction in those scenarios, right? When a certain team gets a bunch of power plays in a row, there's a tendency where all of a sudden there's a stick infraction on the other side, more times than not.
The freshman Emma Webster will take a seat. Johnson and Wales with their first power play, as that one's tied up right in front of the Beacons bench. Maggio with it, and she'll send it all the way down the ice. Chakous able to get a piece of it to slow it down, but it still makes its way all the way behind the Johnson and Wales net. That one played up. Nice job by Maggio to chip it away. Kozik will bank it in. Kozik by herself in the corner. Now takes it behind the net. Now up top on the far side for Boyd. That puck, the trampolines off her stick and goes back to center, but she'll get it back and send it in. Is now looking to headman things is Maddie Fox. She'll play it through the neutral zone, chipped by Haley Owen, but goes right to Margot Butters, and she'll send it down the river. Tomeo out to play it. There's Garner now moving it ahead. That one right on the stick of Margot Butters, and she'll get it again. Tries to clear it. Barry knocked it down. Barry going to the net, puts it on goal, and a great save by Kennedy. Got it with the blocker.
And then off the post. Had just enough to push it off the post and out. Good save.
Goes back to center. Owen moving it for Maddie Fox. Liz Cramp now, fresh off the bench. Battling hard there in front of the Johnson and Wales bench. 35 seconds to go on the Wildcats' first power play. Middendorf brings it in, takes it behind the net. Leaving it off for Arsenault. Centering pass knocked away nicely by Liz Cramp. Hansen takes a whack at it, high in the air. Hansen, a diving effort, able to get it for Cramp, who sends it back to center and into the Johnson and Wales zone, and the Beacons will get a change. Now moving it ahead. There's quick entry in the final 5 seconds of the Johnson and Wales power play as the time will tick off. So each team not able to cash in on the power play in the final minute of this first period. There's Raefler now in the near corner. Moving it up top for Giuliano. Throws it towards goal. Patted away by Tomeo. Staying with it, though, is Kristen Briggs in the near corner. Briggs tries to move it to the point. Giuliano again throws it towards goal. Still loose in front. Raefler trying to find it. And it's whacked back to the near side as Toe will move it ahead back to center. And this will be an icing with 30 seconds to go in the first period.
Again, Beacons just all this first period seemed to be getting that puck to the front of the net and just can't find that one extra whack to bring it home. You saw there, that puck was bouncing around, seemed like forever in front of the net, and Tomeo had to come up with a couple saves, but the Beacons just need that one extra shot when that puck is at the top of the crease there to bury and give themselves a lead.
An offensive zone faceoff. Wilbert not able to win it, but the Beacons control it momentarily. Battling there on the far side. Wilbert able to swoop in. Wilbert tries to throw it towards goal. Goes wide off a stick. Crepaldi now in the corner as Middendorf comes hard in there, able to win the puck. As throws it around the boards. Mia Boyd able to keep it in. Shovels it under the stick of Henningsen Brown. Goes back behind the net. Now Henningsen Brown behind the net, but that will do it for the first period. And the Beacons and the Wildcats will go to the room scoreless here on Senior Day. But what did you see in that first period, Meisel?
Pretty even. You know, there really wasn't anything that stood out to me. I think that was just a solid hockey period. I thought the Beacons came out flying like we had hoped they would. Got some power plays early, just couldn't convert on them. They were doing all the right things. I like the systems that they're running and the looks that they're generating off the power play, but just weren't able to convert on them. And then you got to give credit to the Wildcats. I thought they defended really well in that period. The goaltender made some key saves, 9 shots on goal, it looks like, for the period. So overall, a pretty even period. I think both teams will probably make some minor adjustments, but you can't be too pleased or too upset with the way that period went. 0-0 on the board. Both teams have some things they did well and some areas they need to improve.
So no score after one period, as we'll be back to go over our first period game stats. Obviously no scoring summary, and we're also going to have an interview with Allison Smith, who is an assistant softball coach and sports management professor here at UMass Boston. And so we'll talk to her after the break. Andrew Bluestein, Matt Meisenbacher here with you. We'll be right back on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris. The subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown. And it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. It's one of those moments you never forget.
The University of Massachusetts Boston. It's just minutes from downtown, and the Princeton Review calls it one of the best values in the country. A nationally recognized institution of academic excellence and research, UMass Boston offers more than 150 undergraduate and graduate programs, 16 Division III sports, and more than 100 student organizations. To learn more about the opportunities waiting for you at UMass Boston, visit in person or online. UMass Boston, a research university with a teaching soul.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that. And it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, I can accomplish it.
It's a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. not the shiny nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school, it's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
And welcome back here, everybody, inside Edward T. Barry Ice Rink, Andrew Bluestein. And we have a guest here in our intermission report, as we're here with Dr. Allison Smith, who is a professor here for sports management, as well as an assistant on the women's softball team.
Yep.
So we thank you for joining us here in the intermission report. Just a few quick questions here for you. So we're celebrating International Women's Week in sports. So just tell us more about International Women and Girls in Sports Week.
Yeah, so this week we had the opportunity to have a 4-day educational series for our students and the entire university as a whole, but mainly for our major in sport leadership and administration. So we had a day where we had industry experts from around the Boston area who did a panel for us, led some small group discussions on what it means to get into the sport industry. We had a research day where we had research presentations about women and girls in sport. Yesterday we had a career workshop where we had our students bring their resumes and their cover letters to our industry experts, and they gave them career advice. And then obviously today we're here to celebrate UMass Boston's women's team's playing today, so we went to the basketball game, we're here for hockey, and later tonight we're going to go to the Boston Pride game.
That's awesome. That's all good stuff. Boston Pride, obviously the women's professional team here in Boston. Moving on, what are some things that UMass and the Sports Leadership and Administration Group did to celebrate this week? Obviously a big occasion.
Yeah, so as I said, we had the 4-day educational series, but one of the big things that we talked about was just how can we create more opportunities, provide more resources and access to women and girls in sport, and all women and girls, right? So we had these great discussions. Our students got to ask questions again to industry experts that work for the Celtics, TD Garden, Nesson. So they had these incredible women that they were getting to give questions to have discussions with, and just learn more about what it means to be a woman in sport and what it means to work in the sport industry at large.
All great opportunities. And lastly, personally, what does this week mean to you, and how would you describe the changes that we're seeing in female sports at all levels?
Yeah, this week means everything to me. My entire research line is surrounded in women and girls in sport, and trying to create advocacy to change maybe some people's minds about what it means to be a young woman or a young girl in sport. So it means a lot to me personally, but as a whole, I think one of the things that's really incredible about UMass Boston is we really do support our women here within our major and within athletics as a whole. So I'm lucky to work here. I'm lucky to have this platform and to be able to educate our students every day on the changing landscape of women in sport, and we see that more and more women are entering into male-dominated fields, whether that's coaching male sports or just having more and more opportunities, because we're starting to see young women and girls that have come up playing sport take on leadership positions.
All great stuff. Dr. Allison Smith, we thank you for joining us once again here on the Beacons Broadcast Network. We'll be right back to go over our first intermission stats report here on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to
And welcome back here inside Edward T. Berry Ice Rink on the campus of UMass Boston. No score after one period. Johnson and Wales and UMass here in the first period as we take a look at our first period stats. 15 shots on goal by the Beacons to the Johnson and Wales 5. 5 saves for Victoria Kennedy. 15 saves for Sophia Tomeo. She was busy. And face-offs, the Beacons dominating in that area, 12-2. 0 for 3 on the power play. Wildcats 0 for 1 on the power play. And Mizey, going back to the shot opportunities, we saw a lot of net mouth scrambles for the Beacons early on. What do they need to do to be able to finish those off?
Those will go in eventually. There's only so many times you can have a puck bounce around your crease and not have it find a way home. So that would be the emphasis for me if I'm the coaching staff, is just making sure, hey, I thought offensively we did everything right. We just weren't able to capitalize. So making sure the girls know that coming out for the second period, continuing to do what they did in that first, and that they will be able to find one to bury. The thing that stands out to me is the faceoffs. I didn't realize how dominating they were in that period. Shame on me for not commenting on that earlier. That's tremendous. So, and those are all saved possessions or gained possessions, right? That's really the importance there. When you're around 50%, not too much of an advantage depending on the situation, but when you've only lost 2 in an entire period, those are all generated opportunities or saved opportunities in that period. So, again, emphasis, I think the Beacons maybe statistically had even better period than I maybe gave them credit for coming out of the first there. So a lot more of the same in this second period. I think that I like their odds. If they can generate and do a lot what they did in the first, they should be able to find a few here in the second.
Well, that'll wrap up our first intermission coverage here at Edward T. Berry Ice Rink. Once again, no score. Johnson and Wales, UMass Boston. Andrew Bluestein, Matt Meisenbacher here with you. We'll be back shortly for second period action on the Beacons Broadcast Network. Hey, we're back here inside Edward T. Berry Ice Rink. Andrew Bluestein, Matt Meisenbacher here with you. Just about set for second period action. We got a T-shirt toss going on here, Mizey. They tried to throw it up here to one of us, but it hit the light fixture that's right above us.
Some interference. I like our odds if we were catching that. They ignored Gina. Gina was like screaming for one. They just completely ignored her. Couldn't believe that. I thought she was more popular around here than that. That's
Gina,
really unfortunate.
Gina, of course, on our main camera here tonight.
She runs a tight ship.
She does indeed. She's also done color commentary a couple times this year and has done a spectacular job.
Sure has.
As we're about to get set for second period action. Emily Hansen, Skylar Robert on the opening draw. And a full start ruled by the linesman. As we had a clock issue, the scoreboard was not set, so we'll do it again. Hansen controls. The Beacons, we talked about in the intermission report, dominating in the face-off category with another one there, but back the other way. Here comes Robert. Working on Giuliano. Robert taking it around behind the net. Throwing it up top. That one sent in by Chakous, but Addie Buddington now with it, moving it ahead for Hansen. Now Gustafson on the wing. She'll bring it in. Gustafson muscles her way towards the net. Now it's behind the net as Kozik will throw it up top for Boyd. Boyd steps into one, and that goes off Garner in front, and she'll chip it back to center. Margot Butters, though, able to whack it back in as Chakous will control it. And she'll shovel it to Cruz in the neutral zone and backhand that one into the Beacons' end. As Johnson and Wales will go off for a change. Boyd moves it up for Liz Cramp. Now McDougall with it. McDougall past center. Will bring it in. Hannah McDougall on the far side, now taking it behind the net. McDougall will bank it off the boards for Nia Boyd. Now it's battled for on the near side. Liz Cramp finds the loose puck. She'll try to move it down low, but it was disrupted and sent back the other way by Cassidy Rockwood. Now moved back to Garner in her own end. She'll try to play it through center ice. Allie Raefler got in the way of that pass. Able to move it to Liz Cramp, who will backhand it in. Now the Beacons will make a full change. Rockwood behind her own net. Moves it over for Middendorf. Now through center ice to Gianna Truppi, who takes a spill there. Slow to get up, but she's back to her feet. Now Henningsen Brown with speed. Tries to move it in. Holding the line there was Katie Wilbert. Henningsen Brown now with it. Tries to move it for Maggio, but it's intercepted and moved back to center by Truppi. Maggio gets it back, though, and will send it in. Katie Wilbert chasing, but getting there first was Rockwood. But Wilbert able to pick her pocket. Now has it on the far side. Will backhand it. But it goes right to Reese Middendorf. She'll send it behind her own net. Capaldi trying to get there, but Logan Arsenault will move it to the far side. Middendorf with it again. She'll move it back to the near side. Arsenault will flip it behind the net. Henningsen Brown chasing it down. She'll try to move it into the corner, but it goes off a skate. Back to her, throws it towards the front of the net. Nothing doing, though. Now Giuliano will throw it towards the goal, but that one's blocked by Middendorf and sent back to center. Logan Arsenault now with it. We'll flip that one in on Kennedy. She'll stick it aside. As getting there was Kristen Briggs. Trying to battle for it. Now Owen has it stapled against the boards. Paige Hano now with support, but the Beacons come out with it. Wilbert trying to move it for Henningsen Brown. Now Melina Maggio through center ice. Will bring it in. Trying to throw it on goal. That one got blocked aside by Maddie Fox. Anna McDougall now with it. Moves it back for Bunnington. Bunnington playing it through all the way into the Johnson and Wales zone. No icing. Maddie Fox back to get it. Moves it ahead. For Sarah Cruz. Now a chance the other way. Kylie O'Keefe looking for a centering pass for Robert in front, but that one disrupted by McDougall. Nice job on the back check.
Yeah, great read, because if that pass gets through there, that's going to be a tough save for Kennedy. McDougall stopped a golden scoring opportunity there.
Senior Franciscowicz tried to muscle it ahead, but controlling it once again is Maddie Fox. She'll reverse it behind her own net for Allison Berry. Now move to the far side for O'Keefe. Thrown back to center right onto the stick of Addie Buddington, who will send things back into the Johnson and Wales end. Addie Fox controls once again, plays it to the far side. Takes a funky bounce. Emily Hansen able to find it. Try to wheel it in front, but nobody there except for Sarah Cruz, who will start things back up ice. Opts to flip that one in, blocked away by Kennedy. Margot Butters now plays it off the boards. Johnson and Wales making a partial change. Emily Hansen now digging away at it. Gets moved back into the far corner. Margot Butters does a nice job there winning the puck, moving it over for Buddington. Buddington tried to play it ahead, but it goes off the skate of Zoe Toe. Kozik able to get it to center. Chakous plays it. Hannah Gustafson now a chance. Gustafson on goal, a shot, and a nice save there by Tomeo. No rebound. with 15:29 to go in this middle frame.
Yeah, nice play by Gustafson off the wall. Clear lane to the net, just her and the goaltender. Just not sure about that shot placement. Right in the logo there, pretty easy save by Tomeo. You try, especially on that side, you can go far. Your short side, definitely one thing you want to avoid is just hitting the goaltender in the chest, but still a good rush, good opportunity there.
Hannah McDougall on the draw against Gianna Truppi as the linesman sending Kaylin Gardner off the ice.
Late. She must have had something to say to the ref.
We have a penalty. Did not see what the signal was from the official at the penalty box. And we have some displeased fans in the crowd. Perhaps delay of game. Not exactly.
I'm confused with you because everyone seemed to be lined up. I'm not really sure why a delayed game would be called here.
Face-off violation?
Potentially, yeah. Potentially. I didn't see one, but unless I missed the first one. Either way, Beacons are on a power play.
Yeah, so it is a delay of game penalty as you hear over the PA system here at Edward T. Barry Ice Rink. Buddington controls, moving it for McDougall. For Liz Cramp, tried to throw it towards goal. That one's collected by Middendorf and sent back down the ice. So the Beacons will have to regroup. 15 minutes approaching here, second period. The Beacons with their fourth power play of the afternoon. Allie Raefler will bring it in, leaves it off for Mia Boyd, who sent things around the kick play. McDougall able to retrieve that puck. Now Allie Raefler with it. Raefler to the face-off dot, throws it towards the middle, deflects, and almost got through to Liz Cramp. Cramp able to win the battle. Raefler now with it on the far side. Throws it in front, tipped by McDougall, but it wasn't able to get on net. Buddington now for Cramp, and it goes under her stick back to center. Now Mia Boyd trying to move it quickly back into the zone. Liz Cramp turns it over. Standing on that clear attempt was Maddie Fox, but it still gets into the Beacon zone, and they'll have to regroup. Under a minute now to go on their power play. Mia Boyd looking to move things ahead. Able to get it onto the stick of Kozik. She's able to stay with it and whack it in. Henningsen Brown chasing with Fox as they go to the boards. Puck comes out loose. Swooping in is Katie Wilbert. Wilbert moving it up top on the near point. Margot Butters with it. She'll play it around behind the net. Henningsen Brown able to get there first. Or rather, that's Emily Hansen. Now Hansen up top for Butters. Back to Hansen. Hansen throws it towards goal, and a kick saved by Tomeo, perhaps getting the post as well. Now Hansen bringing it up top, and we're going to have matching penalties, I guess, with Henningsen Brown and Maddie Fox battling in front.
Yeah, just a little too much action, I think. And, you know, you mentioned it. We saw this in the men's game yesterday, and now again, I think the referees have made a point that they're not going to allow free reign in front of the net where you can take extra shots to gain an advantage. And you saw that here. That's two players that are battling in front, and the referee saw enough to call both of them. So it'll still be a power play for the Beacons for 16 seconds, but just something to note moving forward. And that's where the coaching staff should be reminding the forwards, hey, they're clearly looking for that today. Let's be careful what we do in front.
So it's coincidental minors, so we'll stay at 5-on-4. Seconds ticking off on the Beacons power play. Wilbert, a great chance, throwing it towards the goal. Still loose in the crease. Whacked at it by Kozik. She's able to get it behind the net. Another great opportunity by the Beacons on a net mouth scramble. They just can't finish. Tomeo without her stick as it's behind the net, and she's able to get one from one of her defensemen. Margot Butters from the point. Steps into it, and that one blocked by Gianna Truppi as she'll bring it back. But she puts herself offside as she couldn't stay with the puck. As Sophia Tomeo able to retrieve her stick. As that one sent in by Butters. Getting there first is Olivia Monte. Now Rockwood will play that one heads up out of play. So the face-off will be back in the Johnson & Will zone.
More carryover from what we saw in that first period. Both these teams just trying to gain any advantage they possibly can. Now, Beacons, I don't know, 4 power plays here, you start to wonder, okay, what can we do? We haven't been able to score. We've gotten the opportunities here. Can we make an adjustment perhaps try to maybe throw a different look at this team because, again, Johnson and Wales is defending very well today.
There, Giuliano throws her towards goal. That one gets a piece of Tomeo and goes wide. Now McDougall wheeling it in front for Liz Cramp, but a nice read defensively there by Zoe Toe, who was in front of the net. Big collision right in front of us in the neutral zone between Raefler and I believe that was Gianna Truppi. It was. As now Rockwood with it will play it into the Beacon zone. Giuliano moves it ahead for Liz Cramp. Liz Cramp will take it on the near wing. Liz Cramp looking in the middle, has Raefler. Got it to her. Puck comes out loose. Giuliano with it. Goes back to the point. Will wheel it towards the goal. Goes off the end boards behind the net. Rockwood plays it to the far side. O'Keefe with it. Turns it over. Kristen Briggs leaving off for Giuliano, who whacks at it. That one goes towards the goal, but right onto the stick of Allison Berry, who will carry it back to center. Emily Hansen able to find it, though. Franciscowicz takes a big elbow to the head, and not sure how that wasn't called. That probably would have been a penalty in the men's league as well, because that was a clear elbow to the head.
I thought so too, Andrew.
As Margot Butters, as it goes back to center, Mia Boyd now with it. Franciscowicz heads off for a change. Hope she's okay. As the Wildcats look to move things up ice. Skylar Robert now with it. Will throw it towards goal. Banks off the end boards. Approaching 11 minutes, almost to the halfway point of this contest here this afternoon. Still no score, as Margot Butters now behind her own net. Reversing it for Mia Boyd. It goes all the way to the to the near side for Kristen Briggs. Now Margot Butters will flip it off the glass all the way back to center. Somehow stays in the rink. As Barry will retrieve it. Will play it up, but Crepaldi got there, but it bounced over her stick. Moved back to center. Addie Buddington now with it. Buddington will backhand it over for Crepaldi. Nice pass to Wilbert. Tape to tape. Wilbert will bring it in. Will hold up. Looking for Crepaldi, streaking through the middle. Crepaldi able to find it, though. Now chips it off the boards as it goes to the far side. Barry now trying to move it up. Getting in the way of that was Emma Webster as it goes back behind the net. And Chakous will move it to the near side. Is now being battled for. Still not out. As taking a whack at it there was Gustafson. Now Wilbert throws it towards the goal and scores! Katie Wilbert with a great shot, top shelf, and the Beacons have a 1-0 lead.
That's labeled. No chance for Tomeo on that one. That's right over the shoulder. That's a tough spot for any goaltender. Over the shoulder and just next to the helmet. Right under the bar. And she had a passing option. It may have been, I think, Tomeo might have thought that pass was going across because it looked like she had some room on that short side. Wilbert saw it, recognized it, and took full advantage of it, giving her team a 1-0 lead. Great shot.
And perhaps being maybe screened by her own defenseman on that as well, Mizey. But as you said, a great shot labeled top shelf by Katie Wilbert, and she'll grab her 5th goal of the season as the junior out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So we have our first goal here this afternoon. The Beacons on the board first as Hansen gets shoved down at the blue line as Wildcats look to move it the other way. Zoe Toe with it, bringing it in. Buddington able to get there first. She'll play it around the board to the far side, but Gianna Truppi gets there. Kozik looking to move it ahead. Gets stonewalled by Middendorf. Now move to the near side. Addie Buddington looking to move things ahead. Hits Hansen tape to tape in the middle. Hansen tries to throw it towards the goal, but it got knocked down by Kaylin Garner. Now the other way, a 2-on-2. Kaylin Garner had Truppi in the middle, but a nice job there by Melina Maggio's out one throw towards the goal off the apron, trying to catch Kennedy by surprise. Maggio moves it ahead. Liz Cramp now sticks it for Hansen. Hansen to the far side for Reifler. Reifler looking for Cramp. That one got whacked away, though, by Fox. Cramp able to stay with it, and she splits the D, and it'll go all the way back to the Beacons' end.
No icing. It came from your own player.
And for some reason, they call icing.
That's a very incorrect call. Cramp was the one who sent it down. I was surprised so many people thought it was icing. It was very evident that Cramp was the one who sent that down the ice.
Yeah, I think that faceoff's going to come to center.
Absolutely.
But you got to give Victoria Kennedy credit. She had her arm in the air, maybe duping the linesman.
She certainly did. Yeah, they fell for it. Yeah, not really sure. That was pretty obviously not an icing. And I don't think you're going to get much argument from the Beacons here.
The official is able to make the right decision. Today's officials are the referees are Rachel Hutchinson and Cash Adams, the linesmen Holly Swinimer and Marissa Perry. There's that one sent in. Now to the far side, Maggio with it. Maggio plays it to the near side looking for Liz Cramp. Cramp tried to wheel it towards the middle. That one goes back to center, and it goes up into the equipment there of O'Keefe, so a whistle. And I'm not sure if they had called that offside. It looked like it came out of the zone.
Yeah.
And we'll see where the faceoff is. It looks like it is coming back outside in the neutral zone.
Yeah. A couple weird occurrences now.
McDougall able to win that draw. Mia Boyd leaving it off for Maggio. Now Liz Cramp trying to play it through the middle. Cruz will send that one back in. Goes all the way around the kick blade as the Wildcats will change. Maggio looking to move it for Liz Cramp. Liz Cramp with speed trying to negate the icing, and she does. Liz Cramp, great hustle. We've seen her do that many times this season, and she does it again there. A little slow to get up as she went hard into the boards. As that one now moved back in the Beacon zone.
Well, I think if the Beacons don't have 4 power plays already today, that's another penalty. She looked like she got hauled down after she won the race.
That one
saved by Kennedy.
That was wheeled towards the front. Kennedy holding the post, doing a nice job there. Buddington trying to move it to the far side, but it goes right to Logan Arsenault. That one sent to the far boards as Kristen Briggs had it, but it was turned over by Middendorf, who throws it wide. Now Barry pinching. Will send it around the kick blade. The far side. Truppy battling there is trying to move it to the front of the net was Arsenault. Puck was never tied up as Kennedy against the post, but she was ran into there, and she did not like that. With 7:25 to go in the second period.
A little bit of a quick whistle, but I think that's fair on the referees. She had the puck there for long enough where that, as long as that whistle goes, you're going to get that call as a goaltender when the puck's around your crease like that. So I don't really think you're going to hear much from Johnson and Wales there. Anytime there's a whistle and the puck then is loose thereafter, fans seem to think that should have been never whistled, but in that case, I think it was a good stop, good save there by Kennedy.
Another great chance in front there by Garner. Couldn't whack it home as Kennedy was in great position there, able to get it with the stick and steer it away. Now moving it in front again there. Another opportunity there was Cassidy Rockwood, and Kennedy able to freeze it for a whistle as action ramping up for her.
And she's been strong. Only been tested a few times, but at the time she's called upon, she's made some good saves. Her rebound control looks to be intact. And a good push, good effort here from Johnson and Wales, trying to generate some offense and get this game tied.
Beacons have a really strong 1-2 punch and goal this season. Leah Bosch played last night at Johnson and Wales, got the shutout. As moving it ahead is Wilbert. Henningsen Brown now throws it towards goal, and a nice save by Tomeo, who will take a whistle.
If that pass gets through, you wonder. There were a couple Beacons in front on the doorstep. Rapaldi being one of them, ready for that puck to get through, but Tomeo was able to stop it. It looked like the pass was a little bit off its line, too. It hit the pad of Tomeo. If that's a little bit more towards the top of the crease, I think the Beacons can generate a chance there.
Emily Henson able to win that draw. Maggio, D-to-D for Margot Butters. That one sent in. Hanson behind the net, but getting there first was Allison Berry. Hanson back up top for Maggio. D-to-D over to Butters. Butters a shot. That one goes scorching wide and will take a bounce back to center. Butters will retrieve it in her own end. Will take it behind her own net. Now will turn back. Butters almost gave it away as an ill-advised pass off the near boards. Cruz able to dump that one in. Johnson and Wales will change. Alina Maggio will get it behind her own net. 6 minutes approaching, second period. And Gustafson will send it in. That one will go around the kick blade. Swooping in is Reese Middendorf. She'll bring it through the neutral zone and take it herself into the offensive end. Middendorf, the defenseman, gets it whacked away though by Mia Boyd. Goes all the way to the far side. Rockwood now pinching in. loses it as Kozik will push it ahead off the linesman in front of the bench and sent right back into the Beacon zone. Mia Boyd whacks it over for Emma Webster. Kozik has it tied up in her skates on the far boards. As Johnson and Wales will make a partial change. They'll come out with it. That one thrown to goal by Middendorf, pocketed away by Kennedy as it's tied up now at the end boards. Webster battling there with Troopy. Coming out with it is Toe. Now Rockwood a shot. That one doesn't get through as Emily Hansen got her stick in the way. And now it's tied up once again in front of the Johnson and Wales bench. Toe able to come out with it, moves it back to the point. Covering there was Caitlin Garner. That one sent in, Mia Boyd. We'll move it over to the far side, looking for Rafler. Rafler able to dig it out, but it's sent back into the corner. Emma Webster now with it. Webster behind her own net, looking to move things up. Tries to bank it off the boards. Nice play there, though, by O'Keefe to keep it in. Rafler looking to get there. She'll chip it off the glass. Once again, O'Keefe able to keep that puck in. As Mia Boyd will backhand it over for Emma Webster. Beacon's having a tough time getting the puck out of their own end here. But finally they're able to, but Rafler is going to ice the puck, so... Or I guess it's not icing. It's waved off.
I didn't see a signal. That's interesting.
So, moved ahead. Robert a chance, working on Boyd. Throws it towards the goal. Knocked down by the glove of Kennedy, and she'll cover the rebound with 4:04 to go, second period. Yeah, having a tough time figuring out what's icing here this afternoon, Mike.
Yeah, not quite sure. I didn't see the linesman whistle anything that would negate the icing. Gotta love what you're seeing if you're a Johnson Wales fan. I mean, this is the most possession they've had offensively all game. They've been able to stack a few shifts here in the offensive zone. You mentioned Beacon's having a tough time getting out of their own zone. And one thing to note, I'm taking a look at the bench. Liz Cramp is still on the bench. She does not have her helmet. She's being looked at by the training staff. We'll keep an eye on that. She got hauled down not a few minutes ago, not that long ago, behind the net. And you wonder if that has something to do with it.
She negated an icing play. It was a great effort. Has a chance in front. Wilbert looking for Henningsen Brown. Giuliano swooping in now. Will take it behind the net. But we mentioned Liz Cramp. She negated an icing and went hard into the boards. It was slow to get up. And now being looked at just outside the Beacon's bench. We hope she gets back on the ice. Wilbert now tries to maneuver to the front of the net. Her backhand shot gets off a skate. Sent back to the far side, but Giuliano able to keep it in. Tries to throw it towards goal, doesn't get there. Wilbert now with it. Back up top for Giuliano. Over to Buddington. Buddington throws it towards goal, but it was knocked down in front by Chakous, who tries to lead the rush back the other way. And she'll just opt to send it in as the Wildcats will change. Approaching 3 minutes to go here, middle period. As Addie Buddington looking to start things up for the Beacons. She'll turn it over, though, as that one's sent in by Reese Middendorf. And it goes out of play for a whistle, and the puck, or the face-off rather, will come in the neutral zone.
Pretty critical point of the hockey game here with just under 3 to play. Beacons worked so hard to get that goal, and really since then, Johnson Wales has responded. They've been possessing the puck, kind of owning, dictating the flow of the game here. So with 3 minutes to go, you've got to expect Beacons are basically just trying to hold on here and get this lead into the locker room. Wildcats got to like their chances trying to score and even this thing up.
Emily Hansen able to find that puck. Tries to pull it to the backhand, and it takes a funky bounce and goes in on Sophia Tomeo, who sticks it away. Now back the other way. Kaylin Garner able to move it ahead for Zoe Toe. Zoe Toe tries the backhand in the middle, and a great defensive play there by Margot Butters, laying down and almost guilty of a penalty shot there, putting her hand over the puck close to the crease.
She was real close. I agree with you. A nice play, first of all, to negate that cross-ice pass there, sprawling down on the ice. But I don't think the referees had a good angle on it. From our vantage point, it's pretty obvious. It looked like she was on top of that puck and then kind of passed it to her goaltender. She got away with it. So overall, a great play.
Emily Hansen able to win that face-off. Gustafson chips it back to center. Getting there first is Cassidy Rockwood. Flips it off glass. But Emily Hansen knocks it down. Now Mia Boyd will send it in. But it goes right back to Rockwood. Rockwood through the neutral zone, but taking her pocket is Anna Gustafson, who takes it to the outside. Gustafson gets tripped up, no call. As she'll try to wheel it behind the net, back the other way. As the puck finds Mia Boyd at the red line. Now Kozik with it at center. Moves it over for Gustafson, who will backhand it in off the boards. And they'll change up. Under 2 minutes now to go, second period. As a stick goes flying there, it was Garner who tried to move it up. Now Cramp with it, back on the ice. Good sign there for the Beacons. Emma Webster now with it in the corner. The defenseman pitching in. Behind the net. Both defensemen now below the hash mark. Says Maggio in. Maggio with it. Maggio leaves it off for Liz Cramp. Cramp will take it to the outside, now behind the net. Cramp stays with it, wheels it in front for Reifler. Backhander got through, and a nice save by Tomeo. That puck tied up in the near corner now. Maggio does a good job to keep it in. Maggio now takes it behind the net. Maggio stays with it. Now wheels it behind the net, just under the stick of McDougall. Robert gets there first. That one tried to get chipped back to center. Minutes ago here in the second period. Sending that one ahead was Maggio, who takes a hard spill to the ice. And a bit slow to get up. He's able to stay out there though. Now Allie Reifler tries to move it ahead. Trying to play that ahead was Middendorf into the zone as Emma Webster now with it. Webster takes it behind her own net. Trying to move it for Franciskowitz. That puck sent back into the corner. Maggio tied up there with Paige Hanaud. Now it comes to Barry at the point. Barry looks to shoot. That gets blocked by McDougall, still loose. Wheel to the front of the net, and they score! Logan Arsenault on the doorstep, able to find the loose puck and backhand it home, and we're tied at 1 with just 19 seconds to go in the second.
Just a great play by the Wildcats, continuing the pressure and getting that puck towards the front of the net. The Beacons were tired. Maggio, you could see, needed a couple extra seconds to get off the ice. She took a big hit, and I wonder if that might have knocked the wind out of her just a little bit, because the Wildcats were all over, and a great effort to go around Victoria Kennedy there and tie this game up at 1. Tough breaking through the Beacons. 20 seconds left in the period. You could kind of feel it coming, Andrew. The way these Wildcats were attacking, that was a lot of possession for them, and they finally capitalized at the end of a very long shift. So 1-1 hockey game here. Looks like we're going to have a tight third.
Katie Wilbert now with it in the final 10 seconds. Cripaldi tries to shoot. Able to get it there, but fanned on it initially as it's sent into the corner. Final 5 seconds. Henningsen Brown pushed into the boards. Puck still tied up, and that will do it as another big collision to end that second period. And two players going at it. So it's starting to get a bit nasty down there, Mizey.
It is, and I think that's some frustration with the Beacons and giving one up late. I think they knew they had a chance here to take a lead going into the third. They give one up, and now all of a sudden you've got a 1-1 hockey game. So we're going to be in for a solid 20 minutes. I agree, it's getting a little chippy. Both teams have shown that they can generate some offense so far, and it's going to be a good 20 minutes to finish this game.
So no goals in the first period, 2 goals in the second by each team, and that's where we stand at 1-1 heading into the third period. So that'll wrap up our second period action. But we'll be back to go over our game stats and scoring summary. Andrew Bluestein, Matt Meisenbacher here with you. We'll be right back on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
I'm the first undergraduate alumnus to lead this university. I'm very proud of that. I was literally able to transform my life because of the University of Massachusetts, and I want that for every single student that walks through the door.
Moving from Turkey, it was a rough journey for me because when you don't really speak the language that well, and when you don't really fit in the crowd, it's very easy to disappear. But I decided not to give up, and UMass helped me.
Cheer for the stumbles. The he shoulda had that's. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. it's a great experience for me.
The University of Massachusetts Boston, with its scenic oceanfront campus, easily accessible to downtown Boston, is recognized as a model of excellence for urban public universities. 16 NCAA Division III sports are part of the more than 100 student organizations that create an engaging campus life in America's biggest and best college town. UMass Boston, Boston's urban public research university for the 21st century.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
What separates UMass Boston from other schools is the fact that a large percentage of students commute. For me, it takes 2 hours each day to go to and from school, but every second has been worth it because the students that come here are serious about learning, they value their education, and understand where it'll take them in the future. This is what UMass Boston means to me.
UMass Boston was my first choice because when I came to the campus, I saw that there was a lot of diversity, there's a lot of people. Here there's a lot of international students, so it's really cool to meet people from different countries, different parts of the world. I'm Julia Murphy, I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
I'm Olivia Murphy, I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
We're sisters.
We're sisters.
I play volleyball and she plays basketball. Here they have a freshman success community. So each major has their own community that you can join as a freshman, and you take classes with them, you do study groups with them. So it was really helpful getting to know people in your major right away.
So in health exercise sciences, we have an internship at the end, so it's so much better to have like an advisor. Helping you out, like telling you which classes to choose.
People at UMass Boston, they're here because they know they can have an impact, not just on research, but on people, on their students.
This is just a starting point. It only has potential to grow, and it has a big potential to grow up.
You're really having a direct impact on people's lives, and you can see that now, and you can see that years from now.
So I think it's becoming like the place that people want to go. What UMass Boston is able to offer to its young people.
Welcome back here inside Edward T. Berry Ice Rink. Andrew Bluestein, Matt Meisenbacher here with you. 1-1, Johnson & Wales and UMass Boston after 2 periods. As we finally get a couple goals in that second period, it was the Beacons who struck first. Katie Wilbert gets her 5th of the season, an absolute snipe on the blocker side. And that one coming from Anna Gustafson and Addie Bunnington, but with just 18 seconds left in the period, Logan Arsenault ties it on a loose puck on the doorstep. Paige Haro and Allison Berry on the assists, and that's where we stand as we take a look at the game stats up to this point. Shots on goal getting even. Mizey, the first period, the Beacons had a significant advantage in that department, but Johnson & Wales catching up. As you see the saves there, Kennedy doing a solid job, as Sophia Tomeo. Beacons still dominating, though, that face-off category, 25-3, which could prove to be a big part at the end of this game. In the power plays, neither team has scored. Beacons 0 for 4, Wildcats 0 for 1. But what did you see from Johnson & Wales in that period? It looked like they significantly improved. They were finally able to establish some offensive zone time.
Yeah, I think for some reason after that goal, it looked like they woke up a little bit offensively. They've been defending well great all day. I mean, their goaltenders made some saves, but I like the way they're just defending their D zone. I think after that goal, we saw the team kind of, whatever, maybe something was said on the bench. A coach kind of, raised their voice a little bit. Seemed like they came out and they were flying. They were able to bury. For me, this looks like a game that's going to come down to 1 or 2 plays. I think we're destined for this to be 1-1 late in the third. There's like a 2-on-1, they're able to capitalize, or some traffic in front, puck gets redirected, something like that. I think that's how this game is going to end up. You got to give credit to Johnson & Wales. For the first period, it looked like it was going to be all Beacons. Second period came along. I mean, they're still getting crushed in faceoffs, but as you mentioned, they climbed back in the shot totals and they're able to capitalize a goal of their own.
Well, that's where we stand now. Pretty even game up to this point after that second period. It was all Beacons for a better half of that first period, but Johnson & Wales getting right back in the game and get that late goal in the second period. So 1-1 the score heading into the third period. Johnson & Wales, UMass Boston all knotted up. Andrew Bluestein, Matt Meisenbacher here with you. We'll be back for third period action shortly on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
The 5-campus UMass system is the university that educates the workforce of Massachusetts. We recognize that we are truly here for a reason, and that recognition inspires us and drives us every single day.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris, the subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown, and it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's one of those moments you never forget.
The University of Massachusetts Boston. It's just minutes from downtown, and the Princeton Review calls it one of the best values in the country. A nationally recognized institution of academic excellence and research, UMass Boston offers more than 150 undergraduate and graduate programs, 16 Division III sports, and more than 100 student organizations. To learn more about the opportunities waiting for you at UMass Boston, visit in person or online. UMass Boston, a research university with a teaching soul.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that, and it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, I can accomplish it.
It's a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school, it's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
I'm the first undergraduate alumnus to lead this university. I'm very proud of that. I was literally able to transform my life because of the University of Massachusetts, and I want that for every single student that walks through the door.
Moving from Turkey, it was a rough journey for me because when you don't really speak the language that well and when you don't really fit in the crowd, it's very easy to disappear. But I decided not to give up, and UMass helped me.
Cheer for the stumbles. The he shoulda had that's. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
And welcome back here inside Edwards, the Barry Ice Rink. Adrian Bluestein, Matt Meisenbacher here with you as we go into the third period, all knotted up at 1. Meisey, what are you expecting here in this final frame?
I'm excited to see what we're going to get here. Two teams that have really had to earn every inch offensively and defensively here today. Goaltenders have looked strong for all intents and purposes. I think this is going to come down to one or two plays. I don't see this either team walking out of here with a 4-1 or a 5-1 win. I think this is a 2-1 hockey game, one way or another. So we'll see. We did have a conference there, and there is going to be a penalty. I'm not sure if the Beacons were aware of it or not. There was some altercation at the end of the second there, and sure enough, the Beacons took a penalty. So now that changes a lot of things. Johnson and Wales on the power play to start this third.
One of the weirdest opening face-off formations I've ever seen. They had two wingers on the same side. As the Beacons will control it, so UMass shorthanded to start this period, and they'll be offside. Have you ever seen that one before?
No.
You off the opening draw? Two wingers on the same side?
I like it. I think the game needs a little bit more of that creativity, especially, given the fact Johnson Wales is getting destroyed on the faceoffs here, you might as well just open up the back of the playbook and see what's in there. Run something you haven't run before.
That one's sent back to center. Kozik with it. She gets pumped off the play by Kaylin Garner. Now looking to move things ahead is Maddie Fox. Now Toe with it. She'll bring it in. Cuts to the inside, back to the outside. A nice job, though, by Mia Boyd to stay with it as Toe went hard into the boards, and she is slow to get up. And that's always dangerous, especially on a fresh ice surface where there's no friction.
Yeah.
And we're going to take a quick break here and step aside on the Beacons Broadcast Network.
The University of Massachusetts Boston, with its scenic oceanfront campus, easily accessible to downtown Boston, is recognized as a model of excellence for urban public universities. 16 NCAA Division III sports are part of the more than 100 student organizations that create an engaging campus life in America's biggest and best college town. UMass Boston, Boston's urban public research university for the 21st century.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
We're back here on the Beacons Broadcast Network as Zoe Toe, the freshman for Johnson & Wales from Brookline, Mass, went hard into the boards there. But she was able to skate off under her own power, so it's a good sign. But she was on the ice for a good amount of time as the Wildcats will control. They still have just over a minute of power play time. That one chipped into the near corner. Kaylin Garner tries to center it. That one banked off the apron of the goal. Kennedy perhaps getting a piece. That one wheeled over to the far side. Now Fox with it up top. Move back to Troopy. Her shot through the crease. Now Barry with it. As Kozik challenges her. Barry throwing it towards the goal. And that other chance is Kennedy. That was dangerous after the whistle. I'm not sure why that was.
If we have seen some
Barry.
We have seen some weird. I'm surprised, and no reaction. How about
right?
Nobody moved. I'll tell you what. If that happened in the guys' game,
scrum.
Oh my God, you can't do that. If there's a whistle, you cannot. And what shocks me is nothing. Referees, coaching staff, players on the ice, no one flinched. Maybe that's on me. I don't know, but I thought that was
well after the whistle.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Anywho, we'll play on. Now 30 seconds approaching on the Johnson & Wales power play. Emily Hansen couldn't find it. Now she does. Is double teamed up against the boards. Coming out with it is Kylie O'Keefe. O'Keefe looking to head man it through the middle. Now hits Robert on the near wing. Robert going it just wide on the glove side. Perhaps a pass. Looking for Owen on the doorstep. Now tied up behind the net is Melina Maggio doing a nice job there. Able to muscle it up to the blue line and chip it out, and that will kill off the penalty. Liz Cramp with an effort. Cramp is in, and a save by Tomeo. Another great effort by Liz Cramp. Able to get a shot on goal.
Yeah, great effort. You mentioned it. A nice save by Tomeo. Cramp got all of that one. She was right down in that low slot, right where you want to be as a scorer. And I thought a great save by Tomeo.
Leifler turns her shot around, and that one goes just wide. Now starting things the other way is Cassidy Rockwood. She'll pull up at center ice, and good job there by Allie Raefler to pick her pocket. Maggio now D to D for Margot Butters. Through the middle to Hannah McDougall. McDougall looking for Reifler. That one just goes through her legs. Goes all the way to the far boards. Now chip back out to the neutral zone, all the way back into the Beacon zone. Claire Giuliano now. Able to get there. Now Buddington moves it back for Giuliano. To McDougall, who tries to chip it ahead for Kristen Briggs. Coming out with it, though, is Troopy. She'll move it over for Maddie Fox. Fox in front of her own bench. Gets it to Troopy, who chips it ahead, but it goes onto the stick of Crapaldi, but one goes back to the near side. Crapaldi able to find it. Oh, she had Wilbert going to the net. Couldn't get it through, though. Crapaldi able to find it up against the end boards. Has Wilbert in front, and a great save on the doorstep. Henningsen Brown had a chance to back it home on the rebound, but couldn't.
Great save by Tomeo, getting that pad down and getting that rebound away from the front of the net.
Logan Arsenault tries to move it ahead. The goal scorer for the Wildcats. Now Wilbert getting bothered there on the backtrack by Hano, but able to get it in. Barry sends it now to the far side. O'Keefe collects. She tries to move it ahead. With speed is Paige Hano, but getting back defensively is Mia Boyd, doing a nice job as she'll protect the puck and send it to the far boards. Eddington Brown was there, but it's kept in though. That one wheeled towards the net, sticked away by Kennedy. Now O'Keefe. Now has Wilbert. Wilbert takes her down behind the net. Margot Butters now comes out with it. Tips it up to the blue line. Crapaldi will send it down, and this will go the length of the rink. No icing though.
You got to wonder if with these referees, just being a little bit more vocal. I mean, especially as a goaltender, you need to know that. A lot of these goaltenders have the ability to play the puck, and you need to know if it's icing or not. I didn't hear anything a couple times now where those icings were waved off and no indication as to why.
Absolutely right, guys. We've had a few situations here this afternoon where we weren't sure if it was icing or why it was icing.
Just need to be vocal if you're a linesman or a referee as to what you're calling. It can impact the play on the ice.
There's now Emma Webster with it. Tries to move it through the neutral zone, but sent back ahead the other way by Rockwood. Toe back on the ice, throwing it towards the goal, and a nice save by Kennedy, and she'll cover, but good sign seeing Zoe Toe back out there after going hard into the boards.
That sure is, and good shot on goal. Kennedy, again, the one thing with her today, the rebounds have just been non-existent. That first save is just sticking to her like Velcro. You can see there, that hit her right in the pad. She was able to control the rebound, get the whistle.
Anna McDougall able to win that face-off. Goes to the far side as Buddington tried to chip it ahead. Now Liz Cramp with it. Moving it over for Raefler on the near wing. Raefler leaving it off for Cramp. Tried to maneuver it for Giuliano. Cramp still battling for it. Giuliano throws it towards the goal. Nobody in front, though, as Rockwood will move it up. Not out, though. Buddington keeps it in. McDougall moving it through the middle. Liz Cramp was coming in trying to whack at it, but it's sent back to the Beacon zone. As Giuliano back to retrieve. She'll flip it for McDougall, who chips it into the neutral zone. Robert, though, has it and will move it back to Maddie Fox, her defenseman. Fox now with it. Fox will opt to go behind her own net. Looks to move it up ice. Tries to hit Robert through the middle, and no, it doesn't connect, so this will go for an icing and the face-off back in the Johnson & Wales zone with 14:01 to go in this third period.
And we got another injury here. Looks like Maya Boyd is now being looked at by the training staff. She's got her helmet off. So we've had a few here today. Everyone has come back eventually, but tough to see so many players having to take extra time with the training staff.
Yeah, we saw that a bunch in the men's game last night as well, too. A few of the Beacon's UMass, the UMass men's team members missing a few shifts. As that one thrown towards the goal by Margot Butters. Christian Briggs now with it. Briggs out of the corner, throws it towards the goal. That one deflected into the near corner. Battling there is Franciscowicz. She'll go to the ice. Is coming out with it is Robert, who plays it back to center. Mia Boyd will go and get it in her own end. Boyd has Cruz on her back. Margot Butters now with it. Goes back to Boyd, gets caught in the referee's skates. Back to Butters. Butters will backhand it through the middle, and it's intercepted by Arsenault batting it out of midair, but it's a high stick. So the face-off will come.
I think that'd be all the way down, right?
It should be. I think it's going to be in the neutral zone.
Interesting. And that's fine. That's judgmental. Whatever the referee wants to do, or the linesman rather, if they think it was intentional, it goes all the way down. If they think it was incidental, stays in the neutral zone.
That puck move for Kozik. Emily Hansen now chasing. She'll get there first. Looks to wheel it in front, and it was off the skates of Rockwood. Beacons look to stay with it, though. Kozik will stick it into the corner. Now behind the net. Rockwood with it again. Emily Hansen on her. She goes hard to the ice. Now Rockwood to the ice. Sticking that to the far side was Paige Hano. Gustafson comes in and steals. Now Maggio with it. Maggio looking for Kozik at the hash marks, and she couldn't get a stick on it. Now Hano will play it off the end boards for Barry. Barry will move it ahead, but it goes right to Melina Maggio. Disrupted by Hano, and Maggio forced to get it back in her own end. Gustafson now chips it in the middle for Hansen, who gets tripped up. And that one will be sent back the other way. Headmanning it is Cassidy Rockwood. Liz Cramp gets there first in the far corner. And now that puck goes towards the middle. Emma Webster first there. Webster at the red line will send it in. That puck breaks off the kick blade. Getting there first was Chakous. Now Garner with it. Tries to skate it out. Rayford tees one up. That one just missed. On the blocker's side, perhaps surprising Tomeo.
Yeah, just the turn and rip, and it almost worked. I don't think that missed by much.
It's kind of a knuckle puck as well.
Sure was. Looked like it had some dive to it. Tough for a goaltender. Not only with the movement of the puck, but when a player just kind of turns around and rips it like that, you don't really have any chance to assess where that shot is going. You just got to use your reflexes there, and you can see Tomeo was a little late on it, just missed the net.
Now a defenseman, Middendorf, tried to move it ahead but couldn't. Got stonewalled by Giuliano as the Beacons will get it back in. O'Keefe, though, now has it, takes it behind her own net. O'Keefe gets tripped up, and then Franciscowicz gets tripped up, both not called. As now Buddington tries to keep it in. Capaldi took a whack at it. That one sent back to center. Katie Wilbert now with it. Tries to move it ahead. Capaldi had it, but O'Keefe knocks it away from her. Now Cruz throws it towards the goal. That one just missing, and Kennedy may have got a piece of it just barely. Butters now with it. Tries to play it ahead. Missing Capaldi on the exit pass. Does get back to center. Butters tries to move it ahead again against the boards. Capaldi now battling with O'Keefe. Able to get it to Buddington was Franciscowicz. Now Capaldi able to get it in, but Fox outmuscles her and gets it to center. Another big collision in the neutral zone. Bringing it in is Haley Owen. Taking it around behind the net. Muscling it in front, but it goes right to Anna Gustafson. Tries to hit Capaldi with the exit pass, but it goes in between her legs. Both teams making a partial change. Mia Boyd now collects it behind her own net. Mia Boyd with plenty of speed out of her own end. Gets the puck knocked away, though, as Haley Boyle sends it in, but she was all by herself, and we're going to have a penalty coming up here against Johnson and Wales for a high stick. So the Beacons to the power play with 9:53 to go.
I misread the number before. I said Maya Boyd. It was Hennessy Brown who was being looked at by the training staff. She's back, so we're clear again. No one on the injury report at this point. You're exactly right. This is a high stick. It looked like Boyle was trying to bring her stick from the right side over to the left side and make contact. I think it was with Butters as she brought that stick over. So referees call a minor here, and let's take a look.
You call your timeout here, Mizey?
You would think about it. She's going to take a good call. I wouldn't. I think it's a little early for me, but I guess the rate at which this game is gone, you got to figure you might not get another opportunity. So good call by you, Andrew. Be early for me, but I can understand why you would take it.
Well, the reason why I said that is because they've had numerous power play opportunities, just haven't been able to click, and now you get an opportunity to kind of slow things down here, figure out what you want to do. Is goals have not been at a premium in this, or goals are at a premium rather in this hockey game. So,
and on that note, the decision the coaching staff has to make is there's really nothing that's happening on the power play that I think is giving you cause for concern. You're doing all the right things. In fact, you generated most of your scoring opportunities in this game off the power play. So you have to make a decision here. Do we keep doing what we're doing, or do we try to throw a different look at them and generate a goal that way? For me, when this power play is clicking, I think it works through Butters. I think she's got the heaviest shot on the ice most games, and when you can get that puck to the net, even if they can make the initial stop on a block or a save, there's usually a rebound. So for me, it would be trying to find her at the top of the key. If they choose to cover Butters and they recognize that, your wings should be wide open, and they have been through this game. So there's a lot of different things these Beacons can do. Just got to be cognizant of what Johnson and Wales is going to throw at you. And defensively for Johnson and Wales, they've been fine with just leaving the Beacons right on the perimeter and allowing them to kind of play with it, move that puck around and get a shot. A lot of them have been blocked. Their goaltenders made a lot of saves. So I don't think you have to change much if you're Johnson and Wales. Defensively, your penalty kill has done well. I think this is on the Beacons here to make a decision, either make an adjustment or run with some of the same plays you've been running and try to see if he can capitalize one here.
So head coach Daniel Blanchard opts to take the timeout. Beacons will send out Hanson, Wilbert, Cramp, with Kozik and Butters at the point. Johnson and Wales able to control the faceoff. That one teed up but kept in nicely there up against the boards by Butters. Still being battled for. Butters able to come out with it. Butters walking towards the net. Shot. That one gets blocked. And it goes back to center. There's Hano there on the forecheck. Butters now will reverse it for Kozik. Kozik. Nice move cutting to the middle. Will now take it through center ice. Kozik through the middle. Now towards the goal. Will take it behind the net. As Buddington up top. And that pass just behind her. As Victoria Kennedy coming way out of her net to play it up. And she's able to get it to Kozik. 1:15 now to go on the Beacons power play. 9 minutes approaching in the third period. Beacons will change up as Buddington brings it in. That one goes into the corner as Middendorf has it, but turns it over. Buddington now with it. Gets it up top for Boyd. Mia Boyd down low for Katie Wilbert. Has Raipler in the middle and just misfires. And that one sent all the way back down the ice.
Yeah, just missed on that one-timer. If that gets through, you wonder if that ends up in the back of the net. They just weren't able to connect on it.
Moving it ahead is Mia Boyd. 40 seconds approaching on the Beacons power play. That one flipped back to center. Buddington moving it up for Boyd. Boyd will flip it in. Puck rides around the kick blade all the way to the far corner. Allie Raifler there first, but Maddie Fox gets in there, bothering her. Raifler comes out with it though. Raifler now behind the net. Takes it to the corner. Raifler up against the half wall. Gets it to Boyd. Boyd shoveling it down low. Gustafson. Raifler able to find the loose puck. Raifler taking it behind the net. Approaching 10 seconds to go on the Beacons power play. Butters moving it over for Boyd. Boyd a shot. Save. Rebound is tied up by Tomeo. And a whistle with just 4 seconds left on the Beacons power play.
Yeah, important to corral that rebound there if you're Tomeo, because the Beacons were hovering. I saw 3 Beacons right there waiting for that shot to get through and to do something with the rebound. Looked like there was even a wraparound opportunity, but nevertheless, doesn't matter. Tomeo's able to corral it. Still 4 seconds on this power play.
Hanson was able to win the draw, but it's chipped back to center, and that'll do it. So the Beacons not able, once again, to capitalize on another power play opportunity. Kozic will bring it in. Nice move. Tries to get it in front. Chipped on goal, and a great save by Tomeo. As I believe it was Hanson who chipped it on goal.
Certainly was. Great move by Kozic to get that puck towards the front, and a great stop by Tomeo on Henningsen Brown. It looked like that puck had a chance to go in.
Kozic tries to flip it back, but coming out with it is Zoe Toe. And she gets tripped up by Maggio. And now going to the box are the Beacons. So power play opportunity for Johnson and Wales now with 17:19 to go, or 7:19.
And that's one where if you can just move your feet a little bit, you probably get away with it. But because you're definitely interfering and you're kind of flat-footed, it's an easier call for the referees. You wonder if Maggio is able to skate just a little bit if she gets away with it. But now a chance for the Wildcats to take the lead.
That one whacked by Boyd all the way down. Tomeo had to play it. Wildcats control. Now O'Keefe will bring it to center. Gets it in the middle to Robert. Leaving it off for Barry. Barry will skate it in. Barry now to the outside. Takes it behind the net. Stays with it. Moves it up to the point for Rockwood. That shot blocked by Wilbert. O'Keefe now to Cruz. Back to O'Keefe. O'Keefe at the top of the faceoff circle. Now to Rockwood on the near point. Moves it for Barry. Barry looks and shoots, and a save by Kennedy. And no rebound, as you mentioned, Mizey, like Velcro.
Yeah, that's her MO. And no secondary chances if you're Kennedy. And that one with the Beacons, you'll take that. If the Wildcats want to shoot from outside of the dots on the other side of the circle, you're going to expect your goaltender to make those saves. So you got to be pretty happy with the almost first half of this power play with the way things have gone.
Wildcats will control, and that one gets under the stick of Chakous back to center. So the Wildcats will have to regroup. Kaylin Garner now with it. A minute to go on the power play. Margot Butters couldn't find it in her skates. Owen now with it. Tries to get it to the front of the net, but Giuliano does a nice job there, standing her ground, and that puck flipped back all the way down the ice. Tomeo will leave it off for Chakous. Chakous tries to move it ahead, almost given away to Hansen, and now having it is Liz Cramp, and it just rolled off her stick. Giuliano, though, able to keep it in. The backhander goes off of a skate, and a collision in the middle of the ice between Toe and Cramp, as that one teed up by Owen in on Kennedy, as the Wildcats will change out, and the puck back to center. Final 20 of the power play. Bringing it in is Truppi, working on Giuliano behind the net. Cano with it now. Up top, a shot. Blocker saved by Kennedy, and Wilbert whacks the rebound all the way down the ice, and that will kill off the penalty.
Yeah, big save there by Kennedy. That puck was coming in with some speed. That rebound, that was the first one she wasn't able to corral, but fortunately her D was there, and they sent it the length of the ice.
5 minutes approaching here. Maddie Fox tried to wheel it in front. Mia Boyd does a nice job there, holding her ground. Johnson and Wales able to keep control, though. That one's sent in down low for Truppi. Mia Boyd able to take a whack at it. Now Buddington with it. The senior looks to move it ahead at the center ice. Explodes off the stick of Rockwood, so the Beacons tried to get it in, but Barry now has it, and she'll take it behind her own net. Barry looks to reverse things and stays with it. Moves it over to the far side for Rockwood. Kozik bothering her. Now tied up, chip back to center. Wilbert, fresh off the bench. A nice move, gets around Arsenault. Wilbert now, a chance to shoot. Pad saved by Tomeo. Now back the other way. Sarah Cruz with it. Cuts to the middle. Robert tried to take a whack at it. That's sent in. Offside momentarily, but they tag up. Maggio sends it for Liz Cramp in the neutral zone. Emily Hansen whacks it for Cramp. Now Wilbert with it, working on the near side. Wilbert, a nice move, cuts to the net, a shot, save, loose puck whacked at, and somehow does not go. And that puck goes all the way back down for Kennedy. Maggio now behind her own net. Moves it up for Wilbert. Wilbert wheels it for Hansen. Hansen will bring it in. Gets stapled to the boards there by Robert. That one played around by Middendorf. Now flipped up by Chakous. A chance for Robert as O'Keefe. That shot gets blocked by Butters. O'Keefe tries to get there first, but gets out-muscled by Maggio. Maggio hits Kozik on the outlet pass. Kozik now will flip it in. 3:15 to go, third period. McDougall battling in the corner. Chakous able to move it up, though. Deanna Trippi gets it back for Middendorf. Now Chakous tries to hit Zoe Toe, goes under her stick. Now Margot Butters with it. Will fire that one in on goal, and a rebound off of the chest of Tomeo.
I kind of like it. Seeing if the goaltender's a little bit lost in a trance there.
That one will skip in on Kennedy, and she'll be forced to take a whistle with 2:47 to go.
Very important draw. Beacons have dominated all day, but a very important in-zone draw here with under 3 to play. You've just got to make sure that if you do lose the puck, you know your assignment here in the D zone. Sure enough, they lose it.
An important face-off win for Johnson and Wales, who've had trouble at the dot all afternoon. That one chipped behind the net. Giuliano battling. Still tied up as it's whacked to the far corner as Buddington. They'll move it now, chipped up by Reifler. That one's sitting on Kennedy. She'll stick it for Buddington. Addie Buddington, the senior, through the neutral zone. Fires it towards goal, goes just wide, but Liz Cramp is there. Throwing it to the front of the net, goes off the skate of Barry. Beacons look to stay with it. It's tied up, now sent back to center. 2 minutes now to go. Liz Cramp cuts to the middle. Now Kozik walks in, tried to go to the backhand, and it was sticked away by Haley Owen, who chips it back to the neutral zone.
There's just so much traffic in the slot. It's very difficult for any Beacon to get anywhere near the goaltender.
Maggio moves it ahead, perhaps looking for Wilbert, but it goes in on Tomeo, who will take a whistle. Now with 1:44 to go.
I think you got to run your best face-off play here if you're the Beacons. Golden opportunity off this draw. You've done well all day on your face-offs. And I like what they're going to do here is Butters is set up where if they can win this back either directly to her or over to Buddington and then back over, of course they lose it. But Butters was set up there to get a nice shot on goal.
Wilbert tried to swoop in. Now Middendorf stays with it in the corner. Moves it over for Rockwood. That one batted away by Wilbert. The Wildcats stay with it. O'Keefe now moving it ahead for Rockwood. Rockwood chips it through. That one goes wide. Katie Wilbert will collect. Tries to move it ahead. Got hit by a stick. Whacked back into the Beacons' end. Margot Butters moves it ahead. Chipped in by Hannah McDougall behind the red line. And this will be an icing with 1:04 to go. So another key face-off here in the Beacons' own end.
Yeah, and one of the things I think I've seen a change in the way the Beacons have played. It started in the second, and it's definitely relevant here in the third, is not using their speed. We saw it in the first period. They were using the walls, and they were entering the zone with speed. I haven't seen that much. It was dissipating a little bit in the second. Definitely haven't seen as much of it here in the third.
Katie Wilbert able to win that draw. Butters had it. Now chipped off the board. Still in, though. There's that one to the face-off circle. Buddington moves it over. McDougall able to get it back to center. She'll chip it off the boards. The Beacons will get a partial change. Battling there. Now Raefler finds the loose puck. Raefler has space, a shot. Save! And the rebound kicked out by Tomeo.
It'll be a penalty.
And the Beacons will have a power play with 38 seconds to go.
Middendorf's going on a trip. And you know what? It's funny because there was a shot there, and you wonder if it might be a good penalty. Because if that rebound wasn't controlled as cleanly as it was, it looked like there was a backdoor opportunity. Now, Tomeo handled the rebound cleanly enough where it didn't matter anyway, but that would be my guess, as Middendorf was a little bit caught, maybe a step two behind, and was forced to haul down, I think it was Reifler. So here we have 38 seconds here for the Beacons to score and essentially win this game.
Hanson, Cramp, Kozik with Buddington and Butters at the point. Beacons looking to put it away here in the final 30 seconds. Kozik to Buddington. Butters wheels it towards the middle, got disrupted, and Cruz able to send it back into the Beacons' end. Final 20 seconds now. Beacons will have power play time if this goes into overtime. Was Cramp once again negates the icing. 10 seconds to go. Cramp on the far side. Has it. Cuts to the middle. Now leaving it off for Buddington. Goes in between her legs. And the clock will run out. So we'll play overtime, but the Beacons will have a 4-on-3 for a minute 22.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. So you're okay here if you're the Beacons. Just reset. Allow your power play one to catch their breath. I would expect them to start this period. And if you're Johnson and Wales, you've got to look at this as, hey, we've got a minute 22 here to kill off, and we'll get some momentum coming in. If we're able to do so, we'll get some momentum coming out of it. So an interesting point here going into overtime with the man advantage. Should be plenty of ice to be had.
So the Beacons will have, if we mentioned, a minute 22 power play time. Now, Mizey, I got to ask you, this is a hockey question that I've debated with a lot of people. What do you think is more dangerous situation, the 4-on-3 or the 5-on-3?
Yeah, it's an interesting, because with 4-on-3, you've got even more ice, right? Still have the advantage. I'll always take two players over one, so I'd probably lean on the 5-on-3. But I would bet you statistically it's probably close. It might even be weighted. You might see more scoring on the 4-on-3 just because there's so much ice to be had. But I think anytime you can have two extra players on the ice, you got to take that.
See, I'm team 4-on-3 because like you said, I think the space allows you to work the puck in closer towards the net.
Without a doubt.
It gives you more of an opportunity, but
yeah, it's an interesting point. I can see it both ways, but I think especially, and you'll see this here with the 5-on-3 or the right. Well, no, they play 4, so it'll be a 4-on-3 here, right? Yeah, so you'll see the majority of the ice will be around the slot. You don't really need the perimeters anymore, which on a traditional power play, that's really where you spend a lot of your time trying to work it into the slot. But as you mentioned, with so few players on the ice, you basically automatically have the outer portion of the slot. It's just a matter of selecting which shot you want to take.
So we'll wait for the clock to run out. As a coach, what are you telling your players here, especially on the Johnson & Wales side of things, where they're going to have to kill off a penalty, a good chunk of it going into overtime?
I really like the way they defended all game. I would just remind them of the things that they've been working on in practice all week, because it's been effective. You've really limited this Beacons power play have had opportunities all day. Haven't been able to capitalize. I think for the Wildcats, just more of the same, reminding them of what they've done that's generated their success. And I think if you're the Beacons, reminding them they've gotten a little bit away, I think, from some of the things that they were doing in the first period. I think when they're successful, it's 1 or 2 passes and a shot. If they can get it to Butters, great. But they've got other players that can fire the puck too, and I think they've got to get back to that.
So we're just about to start overtime. We're underway. Johnson & Wales will control it. That one whacked off the boards, but the Beacons able to control. Also should mention both teams switch ends, so it's the long change here in overtime as Butters will bring it in. Butters shoots off the crossbar, and that one will go back to the near side. Buddington now looking, tries to find Kozik. She gets knocked off the puck, but able to stay with it momentarily. That one whacked back to the point. Buddington able to keep it in. Kozik towards the middle, gets it back for Butters. Butters looking for options, tries to hit Hansen, goes past her, now behind the net. 40 seconds to go on the 4-on-3. Hansen swoops in. Up top for Butters. Butters will send it into the corner. Kozik able to win that battle. Beacons will get a partial change as Butters goes off. Boyd on. Final 24 seconds now, the power play. Hansen comes out with it. Hansen still with it on the far side. Now Boyd up top. Her shot deflects, almost goes through, and just wide on the glove side. And that one hammered all the way down the ice, and that'll just about do it for the Beacons power play here in overtime. Victoria Kennedy, however, way out of her net, trying to get one last rush. Hansen will bring it in. She'll pull up, as now we're back to 4-a-side hockey as the penalty expires. On the doorstep, Wilbert a chance, and it's saved by Tomeo. Hattie Fox able to collect the loose puck, sends it the other way. A 2-on-1 perhaps, but Hansen able to get back on defense, doing a nice job there, especially at the end of a long shift. Chikusto now will bring it in. Cuts to the middle, throws it on goal, saved by Kennedy. Wheeling it in front, another chance. That one just misses. Off the stick of Paige Hanaud.
Labeled top corner, just missed it. I think she had Kennedy beat.
The puck will come back out to the point as Barry tried to whack it for Hanaud. Cramp able, though, to maneuver it to Mia Boyd. Under 3 minutes in this overtime period. Mia Boyd will cycle that off the boards. Emily Hansen now with it. Hansen gets it out to the neutral zone. But Robert wins that battle, able to momentarily put it back in, but the Beacons get it. Liz Cramp as Hansen finally able to get off the ice. Liz Cramp hits Wilbert. Wilbert will backhand it in. As that one goes past Barry. A race for it now. Robert and Butters. Butters able to get there first as a collision. Robert goes hard to the boards. Now the puck goes into the near corner. Approaching 2 minutes to go in the overtime. Now up top for Barry. That shot gets blocked by Butters. McDougall collects. McDougall looks to send things the other way. Out of the reach of Kozik. A race for the puck. Kozik able to beat out the icing and took an elbow up high. Right in front of the official and no call.
Yeah, that caught her in the shoulder there. That's tough.
Buddington able to chip it for McDougall. Centering pass for Wilbert. A collision in front, and that one just misses. And Tomeo perhaps getting a piece.
Beacons knocking on the doorstep. Few chances here in this overtime. Here's another one.
Oh, Maggio is streaking off the bench. The pass just been out of reach. Deflection in front. It's still loose on the doorstep, and Tomeo able to find it and take a whistle.
A lot of action here in this overtime. The Beacons with a few opportunities there. You saw the puck bouncing around. It looked like they were going to get a couple chances. Just more of the same for this team. Not able to just get it across the goal line. Only one today. Tomeo's made some big saves. I like the way she's played, but I think the Beacons will look back on this game and wonder, with the amount of scoring opportunities that they were able to generate, why they couldn't get more than just one. Still time to get a second.
So 3-on-3 here now. as Cruz controls. She'll leave it off for Middendorf. Fox tries to spring Cruz with speed. Victoria Kennedy coming way out of her net and wheels it all the way to the far side. A little too much as Fox now has it. 1 minute to go in the overtime. Reifler now back the other way. Has Hansen in the middle. Reifler cuts to the middle, a shot and a save. Puck still loose and a quick whistle as that puck was never tied up.
Oh, wow. Rebound was there. Quick whistle. I don't know. What do you think, Andrew? I think you got to have at least some sort of control for there to be a whistle. I think the ref assumed there was going to be no rebound. That one's tough.
Yeah, you got to wait until it plays out. As that puck clearly never tied up. Now a breakaway chance perhaps for Troopy to win it. Troopy in, up for the pass, and just misses the stick of Garner. 40 seconds now to go in the overtime. McDougall moving it up for Wilbert. Wilbert able to control a 3-on-2. McDougall leading the rush. Has Buddington. Also Wilbert. Leaves it for Buddington. That shot goes just wide. Final 25 to go now. Up and down the ice we go here in the 3-on-3. That one wheeled back to center. Buddington hits McDougall. Now Wilbert. Final 15. Wilbert tries to cut to the net and got disrupted. Now a 2-on-1 the other way. Chakous and Troopy working against Butters. Chakous hold, shoots, saved by Kennedy, and she'll hold it with 5 seconds to go in the overtime.
Big save. Big save there by Kennedy. That 2-on-1 it seemed like it took forever to form. They had all day. Johnson Wales going to take their time out here with the end zone draw. Might as well with 5 seconds. But a lot of action here in this overtime. Both goaltenders coming up with some big saves. You can see them touching gloves there. Good goaltending battle here today. Neither team really, I don't think at any point found a groove offensively. Just trying and trying and trying, just never able to get there quite as much as they would have liked. I know some Beacons have been banged up, some Johnson Wales players have been injured. But you got to make sure. All right, so 5-5 here. If it's me, we've done well on faceoffs all day. I'm just tying up. You know, you're really not going to be able to come all the way back down the ice and try to score. Your chances of winning this hockey game are slim to none. So you don't want to lose the game. So for me, forget about winning the draw clean. I would just simply, everyone ties up and let that clock, you got 5.5. As long as you don't lose it clean, that clock should go pretty quickly. So that would be my message. And if I'm Johnson and Wales, what's our best play? What do we want to run here? What is our center like on the far side, on the right side? Let's see if they go with it, that weird formation we saw earlier. I'd be curious.
Be curious to see if they pulled their goalie, but 5 seconds a little too long.
Yeah.
So this will decide things here. Hansen able to win the draw, and Reifler will take it to the corner, chips it over, and that will do it. So this game will end in a 1-1 tie.
Pretty good game overall. I think that's important. An important point lost, quite frankly, for the Beacons there. They're trying to find a way to get into that top four, and this is a team that they handled 3-0 last night. A great effort by this Wildcat team. I think they came in and did well defensively all day. They were allowing the Beacons minimal opportunities, grade A opportunities, I should say, and I think defensively this Wildcat team was strong. The question mark for me for the Beacons is that power play. They had plenty of opportunities and just weren't able to capitalize on one at all. I think that's cause for concern moving forward. This team needs to be able to rely on those special teams to win these types of games. They weren't able to do it here today, and I think that was the difference.
Both teams had plenty of opportunities on the power play, not able to cash in. But we had a great goaltending battle here today, Tomeo and Kennedy. But this game will end in a 1-1 tie. Beacons do get a point. And that will do it for our third period coverage, and we'll be back to go over our final scoring summary and game stats here on the Beacons Broadcast Network. Welcome back here inside Edward T. Berry Ice Rink as we wrap things up. Andrew Bluestein, Matt Meisenbacher here with you as Johnson and Wales and UMass Boston play to a 1-1 draw, as we'll take a look at our final scoring summary. As Katie Wilbert opened the scoring at 9:54 of the second period, her 5th of the season. Anna Gustafson, Addie Buddington on the assists. And good for the senior, grabbing a point on senior day. And then it was Logan Arsenault who tied things up at 19:41 of the second period. Paige Hero and Allison Berry on the assist, and those are the only 2 goals we saw here this afternoon. As we'll take a look at our final game stats. The shots, the Beacons, a high total, 35 shots on net, 26 for Johnson and Wales, 25 saves for Victoria Kennedy, and Sophia Tomeo making 34 saves of her own. She was solid in net. The Beacons dominated the faceoff, doubling up Johnson and Wales 32-14. But Mizey, the story of this one is the special teams. Neither team able to capitalize on their power plays.
Yes, particularly in OT, right? With the Beacons having that extra advantage, you got to find a way to score there. You don't find those opportunities very often. I think that's clearly the difference in the game. If they're able to capitalize there, they win. But overall, just weren't able to find it. And I thought the power play, at least in the first period, was moving pretty well. But it seemed like they got a little frustrated. They got away from some of the things that were working. I didn't see as many shots. They were trying. It looked like maybe trying to create the perfect play. That needs to be addressed moving forward because they let a point slip away here tonight.
Well, you didn't see many goals here. A 1-1 draw. That will finish it up. As we'll thank everyone on our productions team here this afternoon. Our producer Michael Vesey, directors Marcus Mensah, and Gina Albano on camera as always, as well as Josh Eastman and Tam Landry as always on graphics. I'm Andrew Bluestein from Matt Meisenbacher. Once again, the final score, 1-1, Johnson and Wales, UMass Boston. Thank you for joining us on the Beacons broadcast. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday.